we had hundreds of charities and youth groups and community programs approach us to be our major charity partner here at Bankwest Stadium. But Ronald McDonald really fit the bill. Our mission statement is to support the health and wellbeing of young Australians and their families, and that tied in perfectly with Ronald McDonald House.
It's amazing to have this support, to allow our families to be able to come to an iconic stadium like this and enjoy experiences here as a family, but for us as a brand to be able to come along and be associated with such a wonderful stadium. It allows us to look at our own branding and fundraising opportunities to help educate the public on what Ronald McDonald House does and how we support so many families in need.
Another part of our partnership with Ronald McDonald House and Children's Hospital at Westmead is what we can give back to them. So we've been partners with Children's Hospital at Westmead since 2003, and in that time we have donated close to $500,000 in donations, gift in kind, tickets, that kind of thing.
Venue New South Wales is able to provide an array of events and relief for families who are, at our hospital normally in the darkest sort of times of their lives. And ANZ Stadium in particular, where their families are able to go and either see a game, the Edinburgh Tattoo or Monster Trucks, they're just lifting that family in that week. They're giving the sense of normality and being able to just be like an ordinary family. So our really important drive on all of this, and ANZ Stadium plays such a key part, is making sure our children are children first and then our patients second. So giving them these everyday special experiences is really important. And Venues New South Wales through ANZ Stadium just go above and beyond for the kids at Children's Hospital at Westmead.
Young Molly Croft from Dubbo, she had bone cancer and she stayed at Ronald McDonald House for 11 months and was being treated at the Children's Hospital at Westmead. We invited her out to our ANZ Stadium members dinner as a VIP guest, and she met Kezi Apps, who is our ANZ Stadium ambassador and the captain of the New South Wales Rugby League football team, and they just created this amazing friendship and bond on the night.
What actually happened is that Molly's name was on the captain's boot then when she was playing, and felt that she'd actually won the game for Molly, and they have this lovely lifelong friendship. So the child in our hospital and one of our most amazing female sports stars coming together because of New South Wales and ANZ Stadium.
We're very pleased Venues New South Wales was able to partner with the NRL and the Dragons to support the Elora Convoy, and that's something that just recently at the Dragons Raiders game matched a donation dollar for dollar and collectively raised over $30,000 on that day. It's something that we're looking forward to building upon next year as the Elora Convoy is an annual event and something which we'll be supporting moving forward. We host an annual event with Kids Wish, and they put on a concert for 4,500 sick and disadvantaged children in the region, and it's great to be able to utilise the venue for the concert, which gives them an experience. Not many of them get to see shows during the year, and then we turn the venue around overnight for the gala dinner, which is their annual fundraising event.
That's a busy one.
It's a very busy one, especially when you have to go from one mode to another, and a logistical challenge, but it's something that we're very proud of being able to do to enable them to not only host the kids and their parents and siblings, but also raise a lot of money for the charity.
Yep, so many people in the sporting world go above and beyond to help, and of course there's beanies for brain cancer around in the NRL this weekend. All the grounds will be having the beanies. I spoke to Anne Callender during the week. Of course, she was married to Matt, who we lost to brain cancer, but Anne and the team and the Mark Hughes Foundation, if you see them, buy a beanie.
Pop a beanie on.
Get a beanie on. I always think back to every year in summer, the SCG when it turns pink. We are a pretty generous mob. Now, with growing TV audiences and record attendance, the Shute Shield rugby competition is now entering its 96th year.
It is a remarkable story of how rugby fans brought the media rights to the club competition and turned it around against the odds.
For more, we are joined by Shute Shield's Nick Fordham and John Murray, along with Rugby New South Wales CEO Andrew Hoare, for more on how they are keeping the spirit alive. Now, Nick, they say it's the game they play in heaven, and I tell you what, it's, as a boy that grew up watching the Ellas and the great rivalry in club rugby, it's wonderful to see.
Hi, Timmy. Hey, Julie. Yeah, it's wonderful to see. I remember going to Chatswood Oval to see Gordon Ramwick back in the day, and having 10,000 people crammed into Chatswood Oval. The Shute Shield obviously has struggled over the years, but to see record crowds back and tens of thousands of people piling in and live and free on the Seven Network it's terrific.
John, tell us, what was the tipping point for you that made the two of you decide to take over the media rights for this?
Well, I think the tipping point, Julie, was that no one else I met was at all interested in it until I met Nick. And I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I didn't have the skills to do it, and so I needed to partner with someone like Nick who could help with sponsorship and knew how to propose those fundraising activities. But really, I mean, it's such a great quality game. It's played at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's dry weather footy. People love it. They just forgot about it. That really what happened. And as a fan of East Rugby, and I'm now the president down there, there was a time when we'd sit at the ground and there'd be a couple of hundred people watching East's take on Randwick. It's crazy. It's such a wonderful competition. So I'm just delighted that the clubs have regenerated themselves. There's so many good people involved in rebuilding club rugby, and they're doing a fantastic job. It's great.
Yeah, look, my 10-year-old son, Andrew, is a lot more talented than I am. He was up at the state championships at Tuggerah. Andrew Hoare, I speak to you and your brand. I looked at that whole competition, and it was run so wonderfully well. So you must be so happy that things are humming along with the Shute Shield, with other parts of your grassroots.
Yeah, correct. I mean, there's so many parts of the juniors. The subbies are going very well as well. And we forget, but the inordinate growth in the women's game at around 166%. So what the boys are doing and taking hold of that Shute Shield and promoting it is fantastic for the sport. And that's being replicated by so many volunteers around our state, which is wonderful.
Nick, what are some of the changes you brought into Shute Shield on game day? Because I know it's all about the atmosphere. I mean, you've got DJs, you've got 10,000 people turning up to the ovals. What have been some of the changes you've made?
Well, as John highlighted before, I think one of the challenges that face Super Rugby and Test football to a certain extent is being played at night. I think the family atmosphere at 3 p.m. on a Saturday is a big bonus, but in terms of, say, the grand finals in the past, that John and I have booked helicopters to deliver the shield, or face painters or bagpipers or African drumming bands.
You need them.
A DJ in Budgie Smugglers called DJ Smuggler. So it is all about the atmosphere. What was that, sorry?
I said that was new. That was you. I was just having a dig at you, you being the smuggler, the DJ. But carry on.
It's the DJ Smuggler. Yeah. He's been unmasked.
So yeah, that was. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just about delivering a great environment for people. At our grand final last year, that 20-odd thousand people at North Sydney Oval. We had Andrew Hoare was there, was terrific, and Raylene Castle and Cameron Klein, and the bagpipes in the background and a full ground, and someone said to me, it's almost like being at Murrayfield in Scotland. Yeah, just that environment of bringing back that heart to rugby that's been missing for a while.
And Andrew, John, just one thing. I just want to go to Andrew, and I will come back to you very quickly. Andrew, from your perspective, this is one area of rugby union in this country that, when it went from amateur status into professional status, it was a difficult one to get right, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it was. I mean, I wasn't here obviously at the time, but it's found its niche, and I think Nick's right. The niche for Shute Shield Rugby is at 3 p.m. and last year we had a dilemma of the Auckland Blues, and we was scheduled to play against the Waratahs at 3 o'clock, and we took it out of that schedule because it is their time, and I think where we've got to get back to is where the professional rugby is more for that 18 plus and converting those kids that are rolling up and down the bank at these events, or as you said, going to those junior state championships around our state. They're in love with the game, and it's just taking them then on that journey through the pathway. So we think we're starting now to get into a far more settled position, and that then in turn creates a far more united position because people know they have a place and they're valued.
Well, unfortunately, we have run out of time. This is something I could really delve into because I just love seeing the growth of rugby at a grassroots level. And congrats to you, Nick and John, as well. We know that the grand final this year is being played at Bankwest Stadium, so fingers crossed you get that huge, huge crowd at what is a fantastic facility. So thank you very much, gents, for your time this morning.